Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's Red Dead Redemption 2 video, we are going to be talking about a huge secret graphics downgrade that Rockstar has actually been putting into the recent patches of Red Dead Redemption 2 that you might not have even known about. So right now, the latest version of Red Dead Redemption 2, when I am recording this video, which is at the beginning of May, is patch 1.07. And for the most part, Rockstar is pretty transparent with the things that they change in each update, whether that's fixing a glitch or patching a bug that might have prevented you from doing something or adding new content if that's the case. Well, there has been something that they've been rolling out in I think each of these updates has been getting worse and worse that they have not been telling us about, and that is a mega graphics downgrade. So let's talk about what the downgrade is supposedly like, and then we'll look at some examples of that. So the report is that Rockstar removed something called ambient occlusion in a visual downgrade. Now, if you don't know what ambient occlusion is, don't worry. I didn't know a lot about it as well until I was looking into this. But simply put, ambient occlusion is a game rendering realistic lighting based on the actual geometry in the room. So for example, if a lighting source would be blocked, we wouldn't expect to see every inch of nooks and crannies. Basically, with ambient occlusion on, shadows are going to be more prevalent, dark colors are going to be richer, and everything is going to look more realistic. So basically, it's something that you want. It's going to make Red Dead Redemption 2 look a whole lot better. Now, this graphics downgrade is not going to be something that immediately jumps off the page to you. Like, for example, you're not going to notice that you went from playing on the PlayStation 4 to feeling like you're playing on the PS3. It's not that severe, but once you notice it, there are things that you're going to have to look for now. So let's take a look at a few examples here. Now, the photo you're going to see first is the latest version. This would be what the game looks like currently on patch 1.07. And then I'll show you guys what things looked like about 6 months ago when the game first came out on version 1.00. So this first image right here is a shot of John at Beecher's Hope, and you can see that he is changing his pants. So take a good look at this image right here. This is what you would see today in patch 1.07, and this is what you would see in patch 1.00, the default version of the game. You can see that the colors are a lot richer. Things seem to be a little bit less grainy. The thing that jumps out to me is that John Marston's gloves continue to get massive. Like, I don't know why his gloves are so big. And the colors just seem to be a lot richer. His clothing seems to fit a little bit better. I don't know about you guys, but that's sort of the vibe that I'm getting. So that right there is just one example that I'm talking about. Let's move on to this next one right here. It's a photo of this shopkeeper. Again, this is on the latest version, 1.07. And then if we take a look at the default version, you can tell that things seem to be in a lot better focus. The big thing that jumps out to me is things are a lot less blurry. Like, look at the Wheeler, Ross, and catalog, and look at those posters in the back. Like, you can read them so much more clear in the first version in 1.00. So that's what I picked up on this one right here. This next shot right here is crazy. This is Arthur standing in front of the Valentine General Store at night at about 12:20 a.m. And in the current version, 1.07, which you guys can see right here, you can see it's kind of dark and it looks like all the lights are not lit up on the storefront. Well, let's take a look at version 1.00 and you can see just how more well lit the lights are here. Like, it feels like everything is so much more brighter and realistic and less dark. You know, everything looks more vibrant. So again, that's another really good example right there. Let's keep going with a couple more. This shot right here of the light coming through the saloon and the chair. This is version 1.07. And this is version 1.00. You can see how the shadows and the colors are a little bit more defined. Again, it's kind of hard to tell, but these are the things you'll start to notice over time. Another example right here of this salted beef and cheese. This is 1.07. And then this is version 1.00. The thing that I get out of this shot the most is there doesn't seem to be as much like sun blur, if that makes any sense. Like the light particles almost kind of blur the air. but they don't in this shot, which again, I feel like looks a whole lot better. This next shot right here, some of the horse revivers, I think. Again, this is version 1.07. And then if we take another look, this is 1.00. Everything just looks a little bit more crisp. Even the barrel itself, the plaid sort of purple and black cloth that it's on, everything looks so much better, in my opinion. So that's another comparison right there. This next comparison right here of John at the blackjack or poker table, whatever the case is. Again, version 1.07 right here, and then version 1.00. The thing I noticed, the color of the table, the color of the rug, the chairs, the couch, the little table itself, the floorboard, everything just seems to be a little bit sharper. Moving on to this next photo right here, we've got two chairs, a green one and a red one next to the set of stairs. Try to focus on those. Again, this is version 1.07 and now 1.0. Again, things seem like there's less dust in the air, like it's less blurry. So another great example right there. And the final one we're going to be looking at today, I honestly think I saved the best for last here. This one is nuts. So again, this is version 1.07. It's the hallway of one of the theaters. This is version 1.0. Like, the difference is nuts. How clear the walls are, the lights, the entrance sign. Like, I can actually read the word entrance without it being blurry. So you can see just how significant these changes are. Without seeing the side-by-side images, and when you just hear the term ambient occlusion, you don't really think that's all that big of a deal. But now that you've seen all of those screenshots, you can really tell that there is an absolute massive difference here. Okay, really quickly, let's take a look at one more screenshot comparison before we move on. I found this one to be too good of an example not to include it. It's a scene from one of the epilogue missions where John meets Sadie in the Valentine Saloon. And you can see right here that this is the current version, version 1.07. And the dust that you can almost see from the sun coming in from the windows of the saloon, to me, makes the shot feel blurry. Well, this is the version that you would get from the disc if you just pulled it out of the package, 1.00. Again, you don't have that like sun dust effect in the air, and things seem to be a little bit sharper, a little bit crisper, and a lot clearer. Again, just my personal opinion. That, again, is the difference between 1.07 and 1.00. Now, if you guys are interested in even more examples, some that I didn't show in this video, I'll leave a link to an article in the description that really does a good job of summarizing this issue. And I'll also leave a link to some more tweets in the description that has some side-by-side examples as well. Now, it would be one thing if Rockstar mentioned that they were making tweaks to the ambient occlusion setting in their game. However, in every single patch update, there is no mention of anything that talks about removing or altering the lighting of the game, let alone a full removal of the ambient occlusion. In fact, lighting isn't even mentioned outside of small changes and texture issues. Now, on one hand, I can understand why Rockstar maybe wouldn't want to include this in their Newswire post or in their patch notes, that they're making the game look less good for the most part. Now, one reason why I could think that they're doing this is because the game wasn't as optimized as they'd like. So I don't know if this was done specifically for single player, for multiplayer, or for both, but I do know that one of the big problems with Red Dead Online was the fact that the game always seemed to be crashing. And maybe this is one of the things that Rockstar did to help optimize it for the current systems, PlayStation 4 and Xbox One, sort of dumbing down the graphics just a little bit, even if it's like a 5 or 10% fraction like we've seen, that will allow the game to run smoother. And of course, I don't think we will ever know the true reason why this change was made, unless of course Rockstar comes out and says, you know, this is X, Y, and Z, why we decided to make these changes. Now, if you guys are curious to get back to version 1.00, all you have to do is reinstall the game if you have a physical version of Red Dead Redemption 2, and just don't download any of the patches. I'm not sure how you would do this if you have a digital version. That's something I don't know how to do. I'm sure you could look it up and it could be pretty easy to accomplish. Now keep in mind, if you decide to do that, you'll be playing the game as it was originally deployed. So even some of the positive changes that Rockstar have made over the first 7 or so patches they won't be included in that version. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully this gave you a better idea on some of the changes that you might have noticed in Red Dead Redemption 2 as far as the graphics not looking the same from, how they looked 6 months ago. I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. Let me know what you think about Rockstar doing this. Is it a big deal? Is it not that big of a deal? Again, let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. If you did go on to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new or you like daily Red Dead Redemption 2 videos like this. With all the way, guys, like I said, thanks so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.